Hey everybody, it's Joe Hirsch, and it's great to learn with you today as we take a look in part 2 of our unit on tevilat keilim at the really big question of why we tovel our dishes. In a previous lesson, we had a chance to look at the how of tevilat keilim, the procedures that we undertake both before and during tevilat keilim, the act of immersing certain utensils in a keilim mikvah, a mikvah that is designated for items that are used for eating. But my big question for you today is why? Why do we do tevilat keilim? What's the purpose of it? Why do we bring our things to a keilim mikvah in the first place? Now, the reason that is given for tevilat keilim is kedusha, that by immersing our items in a keilim mikvah, we imbue them with a higher level of sanctity, of holiness. But that does beg the question, what does putting our utensils in a body of water have to do with holiness? And second, why do we only apply the laws of tevilat keilim to cookware, things that we're going to eat from, like plates or silverware or serving pieces or cooking items? Why don't we apply it to anything else? When you think about the laws of tevilat keilim, don't just think of a change in the status of an item, but the change in the status of a person. And that's because whenever we do certain actions, those actions shape our attitudes. And so it is with the laws of tevilat keilim. The purpose of these laws is not so much to change the items that we're putting into the keilim mikvah, but to change ourselves and to shift some of our attitudes about the way we think about certain things in the world, specifically the acts that are very physical by nature, like food. And that's why the act of tevilat keilim applies specifically to items that are used in the context of eating. Because just like a bracha raises the level of our awareness of God, of the fact that there's someone else in the world who helped us receive this food in the first place, so too it is with the laws of tevilat keilim. Like a bracha, it is designed to bring a certain awareness, a certain mindfulness to the act of eating, and that's why it specifically applies to those items made of a certain material that we covered in the previous lesson that are used in the context of eating. Eating, which is a very physical act by nature, can be elevated to something more, to a higher plane of spirituality if we have the right mindset. But this actually raises the question of why a body of water. Let's just skip the whole water thing and think about how eating can be a more spiritual act. Why do we bother putting our items in a keilim mikvah? And here is where some symbolism comes into play. Water in Jewish thought is associated with renewal and rebirth. Think about the time of the flood, at the time of Noah, when God restarted the world through water. Think about what we do every Rosh Hashanah, when we go down to a body of water and we do tashlich, where we symbolically cast away our sins, preferably by a body of water. Think about the birth of a child and how that starts a period of newness in someone's life. Water, therefore, is a symbol of renewal, and it's the perfect setting and the perfect backdrop to express this idea of renewing ourselves by taking our utensils, specifically used for the physical act of eating, and elevating them to a higher level of kedusha, and in the process, elevating ourselves by renewing our commitment to being mindful of God's place in our world. And so when you come down to it, the act of tevilat keilim isn't about changing utensils necessarily, but about changing ourselves and creating more mindfulness about the act of eating and about the way we go about our everyday lives. So the next time you go down to your local keilim mikvah to tovel your dishes, I hope you'll have a better understanding of not only how to go about the process of doing tevilat keilim, but why we do it as well. Looking forward to continuing the learning with you in class and online. Be sure to check out other lessons on the Flip Learning channel, and I can't wait to continue our learning when we return.